Hello, welcome to Fancy a Sprue. Thanks for coming back and sitting with us again through another hobby chat. My name's Glenn, and I'm joined today by Kerry.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down and having a chat with us today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Amazing. Right, well, we're going to go straight into the introduction. I want you to just, in your own words, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Like, who are you? Where are you from? How have you found yourself here?
Oh, okay. So I am Kerry. Some people may know me online as KLegss, day oneers. Some people will know me as KerryBeHobbying, and that is my online presence name. Wow. I'm Kerry. I am from the northeast, very proud to be.
Hell
and
yes.
I am at Clubhouse, and I came here because I saw it online and I thought that's a bit of me, so I'm going to come down and say hello.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Lovely. All right. And lovely. Introduce yourself. So what I'd like to talk about first is your hobby bona fides. So where did you find your love of this hobby? What is the hobby to you? Is it board games? Is it miniatures? Is it painting? How did the love of it start? When did it start? And sort of talk about your journey from it starting to now.
Oh, okie dokie. Right, get comfortable.
All right, I'm ready. Hit us with it.
It started many, many moons ago. No, actually, saying that, it probably did start many moons ago. It was about 7 years ago now.
Right,
yeah,
nice.
Quite a while ago.
Okay.
I am quite nosy, some people would say. I'm not, I'm just curious. Curious, I say I'm curious. I saw somebody painting something and I was a bit like, what on earth are you doing? And how can I start doing this myself? And what they were doing, they were painting a little space marine at the time.
Nice, okay, classic.
Cute. Yeah, classic space marine. And I just thought, I'd like to have a little go at that, what you doing? And I painted a space marine. And then after that, I dived into the wormhole and here I am now.
Nice, okay, so where was that first, where was that person painting the space marine? Where did you see that?
It was shout out to one of my good friends.
Yeah. You could do that. We're like a radio station. You can shout at whoever you want. It's fine.
Yeah. We'll now play a tune. No, it was one of my good friends. He was painting a space marine, and I just said, look, how can I get involved in this? And I painted a space marine. But the story I actually want to tell you about is the bit after that. So this is the fun bit.
Okay.
So this is the bit where you're walking around a shopping centre and you stumble across a GW store. And then you have a little look in the doorway and you're a little bit like, oh, what's going on in there? Can I go in there? Yeah. Shall I go in there? Is it safe to go in there? And I did venture in and I saw somebody playing a game of 40k. And they were very, very enthusiastic about the game.
Excellent.
And
I love seeing that. Yeah.
I was just like, what is this? And I decided to learn that little bit more about what the Space Marine does and play a game. And then it snowballed. And then I was just like, okay, now I know that there's a game involved. And there's a whole universe. There's an IP. There's tournament scene. And I just dived in. And I was just like, I've got to do this. So that's kind of like my first little step in.
Fantastic. That's excellent. That's really, mine was. I can totally get on board with that because I kind of came across the Games Workshop the same way. I walked past it in the Metro Centre, and then they had all the painted stuff in the window, and I was like, "What's this? Why is this place? This is so cool." So I can totally get on board with that. So how did that feel, like that first sort of going into the shop?
It was good. You know, everybody was so welcoming. They did the GW pitch.
Brilliant.
What are you in for? What army? What are you painting? What project you're working on? That kind of little script.
The standard approach. The standard approach. Lovely.
And I was like, you know what? It was really nice. The guys in the Metro Centre, because that was the one that I first went into, they were lovely. Shout out to the guys in the shop because they were so welcoming.
Yeah.
And being a female in a very male-dominated space, walking into a shop that you have no idea what the stuff in that store actually is or what it means.
Yeah.
And being able to have the confidence to walk in there and have somebody greet you and be so welcoming, that was chef's kiss. It was
Outstanding.
lovely. Yeah, it was really nice.
I'm super glad you had that.
Yeah,
that as your first experience, and that you were saying you just dove in from there, tournament scene. So was that? Were you tournaments and playing over painting, or were you painting, or was it the whole thing?
It was
sort of
at the
attracted you to
start.
it? Yeah.
At the start, it was probably the painting side of things. I like to be quite creative. I think it's really good to have a hobby, and I find it quite relaxing to paint. So I first was like drawn to painting. Then I did the beginners course, so I'm quite goal orientated.
Right.
Well, at least it's in my nature to be quite goal orientated. I love achieving things. I love having goals and things to work towards. So I did the beginners course in the GW shop, and after that, that's when they were like, oh, did you know like there's a tournament scene? And once I'd like completed that course, I was like, oh, so this must be the next step, right? I've done 4 weeks of 500 points of 40k.
Yep.
It's the next step, right? Let's just enter into a tournament.
Let's just go.
Just go for it. And little did I know, maybe that wasn't the right step, because I didn't know. I didn't even know what a CP reroller was at that point.
Wow. All right. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I dived right in. Because the beginners course, it was brilliant for like learning the game and the mechanics and what your models can do, like infantry units, the whole shebang. What it didn't actually then do was go, maybe you can't play in a 5-player tournament one after the other, but I did, and that was it. And then I dived into the tournament scene.
Amazing.
I didn't stop. I just kind of kept going, kept raising the bar.
I love that. Okay, tell me about that first tour. How was that? How many points was it?
2,000 point.
Okay.
40k.
Nice.
That. I have fond memories. I used to play, it was 8th edition, and I ran Smash Bros.
Right.
And it was just the best feeling. Painting that whole army, I mean, it was a bit of a slog, 2,000 points, you know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So 2 Primarchs. Smash Bros. I had Magnus Mortarion, and I don't know what it was. It was that feeling of like proudness of getting them out of, at the time, whatever I carried it in, because it wasn't a carry case.
Amazing.
It was just like
shoe boxes and plastic bags.
Whacked it on the table, and then that feeling of seeing that painted army on the table for the first time was just unbelievable. It was just so good. And actually, it was the Any Open. Northeast Open.
MT3 lads,
yeah. And I think it was 2019, just before the plague came. And right. it was. I had fun memories. And I remember the first game I ever had, I was asked to play live stream. And I politely declined, because it was like my first ever tournament game ever.
I don't want the video evidence of this.
Yeah, no pressure. Let's stick you on camera for the first game. And actually, that's so important to say, though, because if it hadn't been for that person coming and saying that, I probably wouldn't have pushed myself to go on video when I did. But that comes a little bit later. But yeah, it was great. And everybody there was really fun. And actually, I still talk to the very first player that I played at Any Open. He is, shout out Paul Dennett from Hull. He was phenomenal, and he was just really kind, and took the game really slow, and he could tell. I was like, straight up, I was like, this is my first tournament. Probably my first full game of 40k.
Wow, okay.
And he was just like totally fine.
Sound.
He was a gent, and he won that game, surprisingly.
We did it in a polite way, I guess. Hopefully, a helpful way.
It was brilliant. Cherish that. Really good.
Excellent. Well, that is almost like the perfect first experience of a tournament, going in there, being like just jumping straight into 2,000 points, competitive as well. 2,000 points competitive. I watch it here every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Totally different beast than just lining your armies up and then having to go at each other with a little bit of narrative going on. This is like there's screening going on, and then there's this happening, and there's like tactics, and it's a completely different kettle of fish from what I've seen. So you just diving straight into that. The learning curve must have been like this.
It was. It was a learning curve, but I didn't stop. You know, I didn't go away and go, oh my goodness, I got absolutely tabled. I didn't go away and say I'm never doing that again. That was horrendous, because it wasn't. Because the social side of it was just so good.
Yeah.
I kind of got hooked on the tournament scene a little bit because of the social side of things, and it also made me realize that there's so many different nuances to the game. So I went away and like learned my rules a little bit more. I'm dead straight up honest. Maybe a couple of years ago I wouldn't have been so vocal about it, but I'm actually dyslexic, and I like to kind of advocate for that at the minute, because I think learning your rules can be quite hard sometimes. And at the time I was playing Demons, which had about 4 different codexes.
Oh, wow.
But I played them because I loved them. Like, I just love Demons. Everyone was like, Kerry, you need a better army. Like, this would be easier to play. You'll learn your rules better. I was like, yeah, but I like Demons. Yeah. And I'm passionate about playing them. And I'm not bothered that they're not meta at the minute. And I'm not bothered that I have 4 different codexes. I like these models and I want to play with them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the core of that. When I first started, way back in 3rd edition, I loved it. I loved Catachans. I just loved how they look. Predator's one of my favorite films. I loved how they look, and I got trashed with them every time I played. They're absolutely trashed, and I was constantly told, "Oh, Necrons are better, or this is better." I was like, "But I really like those models," and I feel like what I see out here at the minute is there's very few people that like have an army these days that I feel like that love that army, that cherish that army, that like, I don't know if did you name your models? Did you have little names for them? They're going on as you were painting them? Like, 'cause I remembered like calling mine like the Sergeant Strong and stuff like that. Like every model had its own little name, it had its own little personality, and I feel like with what I see out there, the tournament scene at the minute is very much like, okay, these are game pieces. These are game pieces. This is not a cherished army. These are game pieces. So like, do you still hold to cherished army over game pieces?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I still always go back to Demons. I still always go back to them, and I think I cherish them so much because I spent a lot of time painting them. Whereas I think a lot of tournament players speed paint. So I don't know if there's a little bit between the fact that if they haven't put the time in to paint them, that maybe they don't treasure them as much because they haven't put much time into them.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for me, it was definitely because I'd spent time making an effort with them, and I wanted to see them on the table just as much as I wanted to play with them. Yeah. I think that's what did it for us.
Absolutely. Having it all out on parade.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Like literally.
Yeah. It's like, I finally finished painting these. These are how they're supposed to be on the table. Amazing. Yeah. Lovely. All right. So we've got you starting in the hobby. We've got you going to your first tournament. How do we go from first tournament to KerryBeHobbying?
How do we do that? We play a lot of tournaments. Yeah, I played a lot of tournaments. I did the scene. I played. I think it might have been 2021 when I decided I wanted to have a female name at the top of the rankings. So I my next goal was that, to do that. So I did the tournament scene quite a lot. And I managed to finish the season. I ended up being 7th for Demons. And I was chuffed with that.
Hell yeah! And 7th, that's brilliant.
I was chuffed with it, but all I did was play loads of tournaments. So I got all the internet points and it was amazing. But yeah, it meant that there was a female name in the rankings. And that's kind of my goal, was to do that. As I wanted other females to be able to see that and go, oh, there are other female players out there playing, so why don't I? And then after I did the tournament scene, I was like, right, okay, I feel like I've explored this area of the hobby, which is like this huge umbrella. Let's do something different. I did interviews. So I did the Road to, and that was kind of like personal development, and I just kind of wanted to explore that side of things, like the podcast side of things. That was cool. I've done painting. I'd set myself the goal to do a Golden Demon competition. Basically, I just set myself a goal to try and explore as many parts of the hobby as I could, because it's so vast. Like, why not explore it? If you don't like it, then that's fine. You can say, I've tried, it's not for me, but I had fun trying. And then My name on Instagram was KLegss. Now, I'll let you into a secret, which probably isn't that much of a secret anymore.
I love a secret. I love a secret.
It came across, you know, when you're in the pub with your mates.
Yes.
And then your mate calls you something many moons ago. Well, I say to everyone, I'm about 75% leg, 25% body, right? So KLegss came around. And then later last year, I was like, well, KLegss doesn't really capture the content that I put out, and that's what I love doing, is creating content. So what's a more suitable name for it? And I says, I like my hobbies, I'm always hobbying, so it's going to be KerryBeHobbying, and that is it. So that is what I do. I'll just make content and enjoy the hobby.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. What the question I want to ask, what was your first start? What was the first bit of content that you put out there? Do you remember it?
I do actually, yeah. I started the series, the podcast called The Road To, and it was the concept behind it. Really, there was two things behind it. I alluded to it before. It was when I did that first game of 40k and the tournament scene, and I got asked to go on camera, and I politely declined. I made note to myself. I said, how many opportunities am I giving up because I'm maybe not that confident, or I don't know if I like producing content. I don't know if I'm going to be good on camera, and all these thoughts. And then I created The Road To, one, to test myself if I enjoyed doing it, and it turned out I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, this is a bit of me. And I did that, and I remember doing The Road To, and I interviewed two friends first because they were going to LVO, and I called it The Road to LVO.
Right.
And then I interviewed them about how they were going to get to LVO.
Okay.
And it was really cool. And then it kind of spiraled, and then I was like, other people have got different hobbies and different businesses. So I interviewed them on how they moved their hobby from a hobby into a business.
Right.
And I did that. I did that for a while. And then I guess I just love making videos. I just love capturing moments. I love capturing things like this.
Right.
I love going to new places. And I just love sharing it with people, because then if somebody sees it, and then they're like, oh, I might try that, then they're going to go and do that one thing that I did that maybe I wouldn't have done a couple of years ago, and it might get them to go and try something that they've not thought about doing or they've been worried about doing before.
Excellent. So you're putting your passion out there as a burning flame of inspiration for everybody else.
Well, yeah, and I just like making videos.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. What a lovely introduction, and a lovely journey through who you are and what you've been doing. The next bit that I'd like to talk about is I'd like you to have a little bit of a whinge.
A whinge? Oh,
a
okay.
whinge. Well, everyone loves a little bit of a whinge. And the next bit is the hobby pure chore. If you're not familiar with Geordie slang, that is a pure chore is something that is a right pain in the arse, something you don't want to do, something you would, rather shit in your hands and clap than do. So, do you have a hobby pure chore you'd like a whinge about?
I do. I'm going to say it.
Take the gloves off. Take the gloves off. Go for it.
I don't like building.
You don't like building?
I don't like building models. There, I've said it.
You've done it?
I've done it. It's probably the first time I said it on video as well. Exclusive.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty big part of the hobby.
Well, it is. It's fiddly.
Yes.
It's very fiddly and it's time consuming, and I like to paint, and I just feel like it's a part of the hobby that, even though I've explored so many, I just don't like it.
You just can't get on with it. No.
It's not me. It's not a bit of me.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. It is. You're right. It's very time consuming. It's very fiddly. We've all felt the pain of trying to glue that tiny little bit on, and it flies out your hands, and then it's in the carpet and gone forever.
I don't know if you know, but you know when you've got nails and they're a bit long, and you've just done your nail varnish, and I know it.
Yeah.
I can't be getting glue all over.
No, definitely not. Yeah, because you do as well. Like if people don't understand that like putting minis together can be incredibly messy. If you're getting, I think I had Relentless Matt in here the other day, and his gripe was super glue.
Oh.
It gets everywhere. Like I 100% agree. Like putting models together, if you're using super glue, it gets everywhere. If you've got a clear bit, it fogs it up.
Yeah.
Using plastic glue, that's like stringy and I totally get it. And then it's working out which bit goes where, and I totally get how that could be that could not be fun. I used to really enjoy that part of the hobby when I started.
Like getting your nails done.
Getting my nails done. I do like a bit of that, you know. I like a gel nail every now and again. But back in the year 2000 when I started putting the models together, I really enjoyed that. Like I would put them together in different ways. Like I was never really fussed about making them look like they were on the box. Like I used to really enjoy like trying to give them their own little bit of personality. Yeah. But now, as a busy older guy, I agree with you. I actually really don't like many parts of the hobby side of the hobbying side of it. So like the painting, the building, the all of that. I'm not a massive fan. I don't have a lot of time for it. Yeah. Especially if you've got a busy life going on. So I can totally get on side. Yeah. Building models can get in the bin. It's as simple as that. So how have you worked out how to get around that? Do you just not build models anymore? Do you have someone to like maybe do it for you? Or?
I pay my husband.
Excellent, brilliant. Okay.
No, he's an avid builder, and I utilise his skills in the building department. And he is very kind. And if I'm like, you know what, I've had a busy day at work. Mm-hmm. We've got a child in the house, and he finds building very therapeutic. Right. So I just add to his pile of shame sometimes and say, please, could you build this to me sometimes?
That. Lovely. So you can just get on and paint it.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. Excellent.
Teamwork.
So talking about the painting side of things.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've seen you be doing at the minute is your hobby hangouts.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about those?
Yes, absolutely. So I am very passionate about the hobby hangout. I started the hobby hangout my first one was in December last year. I started the hobby hangout for a few different reasons. I love to travel for events. I've travelled to London. I've travelled the length of the country, basically, to go to new events, tournaments, conventions. Love them. And I was like, right, it's getting a bit costly. And it would just be nice to have an event on my home turf for a weekend.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I'm not really playing 40k anymore at the minute because of time. And I like to paint, so what is there in the Northeast in terms of hobby hangouts? And there wasn't many, and then I thought, actually, there isn't even a female ran one in the Northeast. So I thought, instead of looking, why don't I just start one? So I just do it. That's my ethos. Just do it, let's just crack on and do it. If I don't like it or it doesn't work out, then I've tried, didn't work, and then I've dipped my toe in it and dip it back out again. And it sold out within like 24 hours of us putting it up. And I was just like, this is unreal. It's a free event. Mm-hmm. So I say sold out. I just have allocated slots.
Gotcha.
And I do it almost like I'd advertise it online, on my Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then what I'll say to people is just drop me a DM if you want a space. That way it's still free. I organise it all myself. Yeah. I advertise it all myself. And it's at Northern Alliance Games, which is in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. It's run by Sam, and it is a great event. I know I put it on, champion it to myself.
Yeah, you can say that. It's fine. It's a great event. That's good.
It's nice to have somewhere that I can just go and I can paint for a few hours. Yeah. And it's not on every week. It's not on every month. It's been going on every 2 months now. And And it's just a really nice chilled atmosphere where people can come and hobby, where they may have other commitments, so they can't commit to come every week like myself. And it gets sponsored. So the first 2 events was kindly sponsored by Tooth and Coat's Transatlantic Games.
Amazing.
And I do some challenges throughout. This one's going to be sponsored by Siege Scenics, which is also the Tough Basin company, which is kind of like the sister brand of Siege Studios. So Siege Studios is the painting brand and the commission paints and the put on painting and events. So this is going to be like the basin side of things.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
So is it your hobby hangouts? Are they like is it a curated lesson, or is it more just to come down and just chill out and do a bit of hobbying together?
It's a bit of both. So it's for beginners and veterans, so everybody's welcome. If you are a beginner and you don't know how to paint, I'll run through little workshops with the beginners to say this is how you can paint. But then if you just want to come along and paint and work on a project, say you just haven't had the time to do in the house or there's loads of distractions, you're more than welcome to come along and do that too. So there are people who've been coming down. There's like loads of different levels who do come down. It's nice. The last one, we actually had 7 women there as well.
Fantastic.
So it's very diverse. Everybody's welcome. It's very inclusive. We do have competitions, like I said before. So if you do come down and people book on, there's a chance that you could win some prizes, which is normally like, I don't know, like some Warhammer or some exciting things I can't say because it's a surprise.
We'll keep some surprises. Okay, got you. Excellent.
And, it's nice. I enjoy it.
Cool. That is lush. Like I'm a big fan of getting people together in a social environment. And even though I'm not a massive fan of painting myself, I've found that when I see people come down here and paint, we've got people that come down to paint together. They want to sit, they want to chat. We've also got people that come down to be social without having to be social. They want to be in the social atmosphere. They're painting away. They'll maybe say hi, but they don't actually have to like do a load of conversation or anything like that because everyone's actually sitting, concentrating on what they're doing. Yeah. And that sort of refills their social batteries. Have you found is that a similar thing that you've got going on at your hobby hangouts?
Yeah, I do. So I've got some people who, I don't know if you've seen it, they get the painting cases and then they're like the wooden like screens and they've got like paint and sections for this and they basically just build their wall around them and they'll sit and they'll paint and they've got all their like bits and pieces that they need, but then they can socialize if they want to. Yeah. Then I've got some people who literally come down and barely get any painting done because all they do is sit and socialize. It's quite nice mix in there. I've had some people who've come down who've said, I've just moved to the northeast and I just want to make some hobby friends, so they come down. I've had some people who say I'm normally just on my own and this has been like a really nice place to just come down and just have people around me, so I feel like I'm part of something, part of a community.
Lovely.
And it is really nice. And then I've got some people who come down because they've seen who the sponsor is. And they've said, nice. I just want to try the products, which is what it's all about, having the sponsor there. So having the sponsor there means that people can come and try that product before, if they want to purchase it. They might not want to. Some people might not know who the sponsor is. Yeah. So it's just an opportunity for them to try some new materials. I always supply a free model for the beginners who turn up who might not know how to get started as well. So we've got that. And then we also do an opportunity where you can come and have a beer afterwards in the brewery around the corner.
Amazing.
It's nice.
Fantastic. That's good. Like having a beer and doing a hobby, something very close to my heart. I don't know if you can tell out there. Yeah. Champion. All right. Well, we will make sure that all the links to that stuff will be on the usual spot on the video. So we'll get all the links and all the directions, and everything, so people can find your hobby hangouts. Yeah, wonderful. And we'll get that on the bottom of the video. Okay. The next thing I'd like to talk about, we may have already touched on it in that little bit of snippet of conversation, is your Hobby Pure score. something that you are really passionate about, something that has brought you a lot of joy out of the hobby, something you want to champion, something you want to light a candle about.
Okay, so I know we just spoke about it, but the hobby hangout is probably one of the biggest ones, because it's just so nice to see so many people coming together.
Yeah.
So I know I've just spoke about it, but I'll allude to it, is the community behind it. Now, I know people say the community all of the time, but all throughout this hobby, whether it be board games, whether it be 40k tournaments, hobby hangouts, painting, I've found so many friends through it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of like shout out that it's a lovely space to be in, and it's a lovely community. And I know that there's a lot of female players out there and painters out there now, and that is so refreshing.
Yes.
Because when I first started, there wasn't, and now there is, and it's just getting more and more diverse and welcoming every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm passionate about, is sharing actually how nice the space can be.
Yes. Yeah. I think I 100% agree with you. Like the community is so welcoming. It's so accepting as well. The fact that everyone comes on here and talks about community, and then goes, "Oh man, everyone's going to talk about community. I'll say something else," but because it is on everyone's lips. Like I love that. I love that, and having such a welcoming community, and like letting people know that the stigma of like the male dominated game group with arse cracks and BO is like that is becoming a thing of the past, and it's a much more, it's like it always had that sort of stigma. There was toxic, they were a bit toxic, it was very competitive. I've not found that now.
So you know what, when I first started making content and I first decided that I wanted to be on video and do interviews, podcasts, chat about things, meet new people, I very rarely spoke about the subject. And the fact that I feel more confident now than I ever have done before to be able to speak about it, it just speaks volumes on how more accepting people are. So I think internally it's speaking about it can be quite hard, but actually by seeing so many other females and males and people who are supporting do speak about it, then it's made it me feel much better about it. So that's why I do it now a little bit more.
Fantastic. That's that's excellent. Like the whole reason I'm doing this interview series is because I just want people to be able to talk about their passions and be able to shout about their passions and put that passion out there. And that's something that I see you doing very well through your social media, is just but loving life and putting that out there and saying, this is a big part of what makes me feel artistic and creative, and it brings me joy, and I want everyone else to feel safe about, talk about what brings them joy, which is good, because like I say, historically this was you play Warhammer, you paint little men, like what's going on there? But now it is this beautiful, great big like artistic expression that is going on, and it's just this. I think one of the things that we lose touch with as we grow older is the ability to play, because that is quintessentially something that kids do, but it is a huge part of being creative. Yeah. And I to touch on your community point, like this community knows how to play, and it's so fun. It is so fun, and it's so heartwarming and inspiring to see adults coming together, working professional adults that are working 40 hours a week, their moms, their dads, their whatever, and they're coming together and they're finding they're doing that work on the inner child, and they're finding that joy that they had maybe when they first played a game of Monopoly, or they first played a game of Space Crusade, whatever it was. Like, and I love seeing that come together through this community, and people like you that are shouting that from the rooftops are fundamental with helping everyone to feel comfortable doing that. It's
escapism at its finest, isn't it? It's just being able to be comfortable in your own skin while having fun, while switching off from the rest of the world. And then you're also able to meet like loads of cool people at the same time. Like, and it's like, okay, and I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And it is possible. You know, it's nice.
Is, yeah. It really is. That is, that's the heart of it. That is the heart of it there. Right, okay, I think there's only one thing I now need to ask you, Kerry. I've had an absolutely wonderful time talking to you. I need to know what's next for you. What's on your to-do list? What's on your work in progress table? And what's next for you in general?
There's quite a lot going on, as you can probably see. So the Hobby Hangout is on the 17th of May, which is going to be really cool.
Brilliant.
And then if that is very successful and people want more, then we'll look at another date in the future. So I always say look on my Instagram. If there's a need for it, there's a want for it, it's probably going to happen. I'm going to be at UK Games Expo.
Nice.
Yeah. I love UK Games Expo. I am going to be doing a really cool competition with Warmags at UK Games Expo.
Right.
Which is going to be pretty cool. I think you guys are going to be there as well.
We are doing a little club day trip down there. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye out for you.
I love it. You know what I love about UK Games Expo is that there's just so many different board games there.
Yeah.
It's so good, and there's so many cool people to see. So I've got UK Games Expo. I am working on some secret squirreling projects, and then I am also going to be starting the competition.
The competition?
Can I talk about the competition?
You can talk about
my
it. Can
God,
you talk about the competition?
I can. I'm going to be doing the Northeast Demon competition by Clubhouse.
Johnny G, superior denim leisure wear, whatever the occasion. Here's what our customers say.
Yeah.
Which is going to be happening very soon.
Very soon.
Enter.
19th of July. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. That is on my list. And then there's probably going to be a ton of other things as well. But yeah, it'll be lots of fun. I'm always busy.
Fantastic. Excellent. I can't wait to see your social media journey through all of those things.
It will be there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming down and talking to me today, Kerry. It's been wonderful.
Oh.
I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you. I got really deep.
That's what I like. I like people coming here and just going, okay, I'm just going to start talking. Oh, this has come out now. It's brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Anything else you'd like anyone to know?
No,
about you?
just I would really like to say thank you.
Well, you're very welcome.
Thank you to Clubhouse for having me. And what you are actually building at the minute in the Northeast is amazing. And if anybody hasn't been down to Clubhouse, that they should definitely come down because it's so welcoming and they do amazing coffee.
Thank you so much. What a glowing endorsement. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. That's I'm gonna swoon. All right, I think we better end it there, Adam, because I'm gonna go on the bits. Thank you so much for coming and talking, Kerry.
Thank you for having me. My dad, right, this is no lie, this is not recorded, is it?
I did that.
Is it recorded?